This is Lisa Steinberg with Starry Constellation Magazine, and I am joined today by a very special guest, the very, very lovely Humberly González.
Thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure to get to see you, such a pleasure to get to chat with you. I am a huge fan of your work, and I sort of was just saying, like, we spoke last with Utopia Falls, and it really is just as a fan of yours to have this great, rewarding opportunity to see your career just continue to just excel, 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 and all the incredible projects that you've been working on. And I would say you're like on the hardest working woman badge. You're
Thank
like
you. I'll take
your
it.
hardest working woman badge.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to think back to that and that it's been years since then and how much work and impact I guess the effort has rendered, and I'm so grateful for that because it's always really cool to reminisce and think, oh my gosh, from Utopia Falls to now.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, let's see, we must talk about like your range and the genres that you are a part of, just
She's
as
just a genre bending performer. Yeah.
right? Because I mean, like video games, commercials, Star Trek, Star Wars. I mean, these are like high brand franchises too. Like these aren't just, like come of the day. Like these are long, very long standing, high honored, very respected franchises that you're a part of.
Wild.
Has it been sort of like pinch me in a sense for you? And of course, your family has got to be, of course, as well as just as much.
For sure. I think, it's really beautiful to think back because I get to look back and remember the moments where I struggled or the moments where maybe I had some doubt or hesitation, um, but continued in the journey. And to be able to take up space in such big rooms and to, fill the shoes of characters that will be loved forever. And it really is a dream. I'm not shocked. It's more like, oh my gosh, like it works. It works when you put in the effort and you're aligned. It's like opportunity means preparation. And that's how I work, kindness forward. And I'm always applying myself to like, there's no small parts or auditions that I don't think I can book or not. To me, it's just an opportunity to be seen. And if it's meant for me, it's gonna come my way. So the fact that I even got a chance to audition for these projects and they saw something in me and I was confident enough to show up as my full self, it's just like a match.
Yeah, I'm a full believer in like energy and auras and manifesting and things like that. And, if you put goodness, like you're saying, like put positivity out there into the universe, it's, guaranteed in a way, not guaranteed, but, it should come back to you like not that that's obviously what you're doing it for, but, the fact that it will or finds itself in a way back to you. Um,
Yeah.
we need we need a lot more of that type of
Yeah,
mentality.
this career requires a lot of that. I think a huge part of it is mindset because it can make it or break it for you. Some people get jaded, they get impatient. If they don't believe that they can, it will absolutely eat you alive, and the camera will catch that. So I often try to always remember to surrender to it. There's no control. All I have to do is do my job and show up authentically, and I always let it go. So there's no resentment there. There's no energy where I feel like it's a loss or I'm losing out on something that was never mine. So practicing that mindset has really led me into being present because it means I'm simply grateful for the moment I'm in. I know that everything that comes my way, it's always going to teach me something. I'm always gonna keep growing. So I think that's why every opportunity has led to taking a bigger bite. And, I'm here now where it's been 10 years. And if I look back at the decade of work, it really has been that way. It's it's all been very aligned because I've been curating that for myself with my team of the things that I do want. And I always journal about it. I always speak it into existence. I talk to my team and I go, what do I want next? What am I ready for? Because I truly feel like the universe doesn't give you anything you're not ready for. So when it meets you right in front of you, you have to say yes, and you can't backtrack and be like, "Oh, I don't know about this. Am I worthy?" It's like, "Yes, you are, because it's right here. It's happening right now." So when those opportunities came, I wasn't scared. I was just ready.
I mean, we talked about again, like, there's so many platforms that you're featured, like we're getting to see you featured in, like Netflix streaming services and video games like we're talking about and franchises and things like that. And you talk about like what else you want for yourself. What else is on your list? I'm really, because I'm
I
checking,
mean, right now
checking,
I'm
checking,
in the
like,
process of like training and taking care of myself because I would love to do action, especially since Star Trek and Star Wars. I really got to do stunts and fighting and be very physical. And I'm at my, it's like I'm young, I'm able, I'm strong. So calling that into existence for sure, where like I don't want it to come my way and I'm not ready for that. So becoming more strong and flexible and staying on top of my health so that I can welcome in action films or more action forward projects is definitely something I have my eye on.
awesome. I'm like, I very much admire you for all that because there's a lot of stuff out there that you can manifest, but you also have to do your part at the same time just as much
Yeah,
too.
I'm not just at home waiting. I have to be prepared. That's why it's prepared. It's preparation meets opportunity. That's what they call luck. But I'm like, is it really luck when I've been training for this? Don't think so.
Well, when we talk about again these wonderful roles, but and we also talk about currently that we're getting to see you in two hit Netflix series. We have, of course, Ginny and Georgia season 3, and then we also have The Waterfront, which has been like blowing up the Netflix like number one spots.
Ah,
Both of these series have been like super buzzed about, getting great like reviews, attention, praise, all that good stuff. Obviously Ginny and Georgia again, season 3. So it continues to obviously be hitting
always.
notes and resonating
That
with with
show, I feel like it's
audiences.
just like forever loved, forever will be like the gift that keeps on giving. I'm so grateful for that show that I've literally been on for like 6 years. And it led to exposure, it led to more opportunities, and it's always such a treat to come back in whatever capacity.
Was it always, or did you know if it's always kind of been like the plan, trajectory for your character, Sophie, that she was going to be a part of these at least 3 seasons so far, or was it
No
something
idea. When
that
I
kind of,
auditioned for the role, I thought it was just going to be like 2 episodes in season one. Because they don't tell you that when you audition. And I have no idea what the writers are thinking or what the future of the show is. So, I don't even know if I'll be back. Like, I always end the season and that job as if it's the last. And if it comes back to me, great. If not, I'm always focused forward. I'm never just like waiting for that. It's always amazing to come back. I didn't even know I was going to come back for season 3 or what, or that I was going to be in the musical or like how our relationship would go. So it's always a surprise. Yeah.
you talk about, of course, training yourself physically, was there anything that you maybe did specifically training wise as far as like Virginia and Georgia's because of this big musical that you
No,
had to
that's
be
been like my entire life. I came out of the womb dancing and singing. So no, and a triple threat is what I call myself always. I've done Utopia Falls, which is where I got to exercise that the most. I've done projects where I've gotten to sing and dance and perform, and I come from theater, so really that's like my most nature. I could like show up, have never read the script, and I could just be like, "Let's go." Yeah.
I mean, it was really wonderful to get to see like roles within another role.
Hmm.
It was such a your character's it's always such a wonderful layered character, but getting to see her specifically this season and like a lot more fleshed out for her too, between her and the relationship with Max, that was really rewarding also and meaningful to watch just as much as well because um there's so many storylines going on at
I
the
know.
same
Oh
time.
my
There's so
God.
many like converging storylines, but to have the opportunity to have your character come back and have like such a meaningful way and not just kind of have a passing by between the two of them because yes, they are exes, but this is something I think that we talk about like purposeful. I feel like it was purposeful. It was like something that Max needed.
Yeah, especially when she's going through all of that. Sophie was able to be a soundboard and someone she could talk to, and someone who's like, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" It's like the only person who asks her if she's okay. Um, and it's just bringing her closer to herself, even though at the end it's like the weird love triangle and all of that, and she was just like disappointed in how everything ended up. I think it was still helpful to her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she needed that type of support. Like you said, she wasn't getting it from her friend group, and maybe she needed an outsider to kind of be there at that time for her as well.
Yeah.
There are certainly quite a lot of overall themes within Ginny and Georgia, but ones that sort of have stuck out are young love and choices.
Mhm.
Do you think Sophie and Max's relationship is more about timing or more maybe about the choices in the relationships that we make?
Yeah, I think timing. I think there's relationships that are lessons and they come into your life for a reason, but their timing was not in their favor. I am convinced that Sophie will always love Max, and I think she got spooked and she wanted to do right by her by, not leading her on when she knows that she's leaving for college, and having a long distance relationship made no sense, but there's a reason why they keep coming back to each other in one way or another. I've definitely been in situations where I've pushed people away because I think it's what's best for them, even if it's not what the heart wants. In season three, I definitely played into the I still love you. And I think that showed that there's still like a lot of care. I just can't be with you right now. It just doesn't, it's not compatible in our life's journey and what we're building. So I think there'll always be love there.
Absolutely. I mean, for Max, of course, like a first love. I don't know if it's whether, if it's Sophie's first love or not, but there's always that string that's going to bind them together that they've shared with each other. So you never know. Like Sophie's a senior, and yes, she's going off to college, but she came back she came back before, so maybe she'll come back again.
I don't know. I know it just depends on what they're doing, right? Like you see 3 seasons and years have gone by, but this is all taking place in months. It's only been a few months.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think people forget that. I'm like, this is only like a few months in the life of these characters.
Yeah.
Um, so it's still also fresh when you think about it. Like them dating, the breakup, and then coming back to being like friends. It's only been like a few months.
It was not
Or
that long,
I don't
literally
know,
not that
yeah.
long ago.
But like for us, it feels like years, but I'm like, no, guys, they're still living in like that very fresh, like everything is on the surface, right? So yeah, we'll see what they're thinking about season four. I have no idea. So much could happen, right? They could do a time jump, they could go in the past, they could be right where they picked up, and there's prom. Like, I don't know, there's so much that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, even also like you're saying, like within the show that it's always a small period of time, but like even to a young adult, like a teenager, like time is like so, like everything is forever, and like or ever, like dramatically.
I mean, it's funny because I think some characters in the show, especially in season three, I think it's like one of the man girls is like, oh, I feel like I've been in high school forever. And I think that's kind of like tipping the hat to the fact that, yes, we've been working on the show for 6 years and it has felt like forever. So it's just kind of funny that like that's just the nature of the industry and how everything comes out. But it does feel like we've been in high school forever.
I mean, again, like Utopia Falls, it was like you got, like in the schools in a sense, and Ginny and Georgia in school. So yeah, it's that I guess that eternal youth.
Yeah, eternal youth. I'm probably graduating from that now. I don't know that I could play a teenager past this.
Well, speaking of being beyond a teenager, we are getting to see you in the other hit Netflix series, The Waterfront, which you definitely are playing older than a teenager,
Yes.
because we do see adult themes in
Yeah.
the other adult themes, I would say, in The Waterfront. But you play Sophie, who in Ginny and Georgia is a high school student, and then again this young adult. I don't know the specific age range that Jenna, your character in The Waterfront, is specific.
30. Yeah. I'm 33. I'm just playing my age, I think. Yeah.
But both of these characters really have conflicted feelings about their exes. Do Jenna and Sophie
No,
maybe
there's a
have
theme here.
any other commonalities that you might think in a way?
My gosh. I'm like, why is it always this? No, but I do think, I think we get to see a more mature character that's fleshed out. I'm not playing Jenna as Sophie whatsoever. Because she is an adult, she's got a career, she's married, she grew up in this like small town. We do obviously get to see a lot more of her than we do of Sophie or like her life in a way. And we're like, guys, renew us so that we can share more. Um, but yeah, I really love Jenna. I love the storyline, and it was, it's a complicated, tricky storyline. It can be very sensitive to play an affair on screen. Um, because a lot of people would probably be instantly upset. But I'm like, this is a part of life. And what I'm trying to show with that character is the complexity of being in a moral dilemma and revisiting a past love, and especially at a crossroads that she's at. She's trying to figure out what's best for her, and she's grieving, and she's not happy in her work. And then the only kind of comfort is this person who she thought she was going to end up with, and it didn't happen. And suddenly all of these feelings are out there. And I don't think she's a bad person. She finds herself in very tricky emotional scenarios that she doesn't want to lean into. And some things are so inevitable, especially because he keeps coming back after he's like, we need to not see each other. So it's like, it's really hard to stick to boundaries. And I think that's a very huge part of life, that we're not perfect. We are these flawed individuals who are constantly trying to find our way through. And I'm like, what if they were meant to be together? Like, I don't know. I don't, it's complicated, right? And that doesn't make them bad people. It's just the situations you're in, and it goes to show that it's all about the choices you make.
Again, theme of choices. I mean, we you talk about this character Jenna being complex, and many of the characters within the Waterfront are, of course, quite complex. And I love the way that they're so layered, and there's moments of characters that are relatable or resonate between, like whether you know someone who are like that, or even if you didn't grow up in that type of small town or community like that, there's, emotions, or there's feelings, or there's something about someone or a storyline that you can recognize and feel close to, whether it's a specific emotion that you wanted to feel or not, or something that's a little deeper that you may have tried to push away at times. But the series is very really 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 compelling, and I love that you get to play someone who is more mature and someone who is, like you said, like more fleshed out. And people's lives are messy. People don't make the best choices. People don't always, have happy endings either. So the stories that they tell within the Waterfront are definitely ones that, you know feel like you want like you're always on the edge. Like there's always this tense, palpable suspense going on when you watch when
I'm
you watch the
struggling.
episode.
Yeah.
When you began reading the script and maybe subsequently, started filming, when you s- when you start looking at the character and the arc of the series, what overall maybe stood out to you or kind of clicked with you about whether it's your character Jenna or the series itself?
Yeah, I mean, all I had was the pilot episode before you say yes to the show. You don't know where your character is going. It's really rare that you get to see the whole season before you say yes to a contract. All I can look for is the creator, the team, the directors, who they've cast, what the themes are, the overall kind of storyline that they're trying to push for. Just based on those choices alone and what I had available to me, I really loved it. I loved my auditioning scenes, which were pretty much the three scenes that you saw in episode one. Or chemistry that even over the internet you feel it. I can only imagine what it would be like on set. Um, but it came really easy to me, just the depth of the emotionality, the push and pull of the choices, the complexity of revisiting a past love, and how problematic that can be, but also how good it feels. And I love how detailed that could have been. And I think from like my first audition, I really felt like I could bring this character to life. And I guess the team saw it too.
Speaking of the team, I mean, you have such a stellar production company, and of course being helmed by creator executive producer Kevin Williamson, who is like the young adult like epitome of that when you think of like, Vampire Diaries, Dawson's Creek, of course. I mean, thinking of, small town setting, community type, dramatic shows. I mean, you can't get higher caliber than that in a way. What really has impressed you about this specific team that's a part of the waterfront, behind the waterfront?
Yeah, I mean, this was my first US series. I really wanted to know how kind of like the other side of the border moved through a set. I had only worked in Canada and then, the couple international projects that I've worked on, but to work with Universal Studios, it's, they're a well-oiled machine. And especially in North Carolina, these crews have worked with each other for a long time, so they moved well together. There was a lot of like collaborative energy and everybody really loved what we were making. There was a lot of enthusiasm from the story, like even by the crew. You know that when the crew is invested and they like it, you really have something special. Because a lot of the time, this is just their job, day in, day out. You go home, that's it. But people were so invested, and that's something I really felt. The cast gelled together quickly. Like we all really loved each other. And we had a lot of fun, like Kevin Williamson was on set a lot with us, which I thought was really impressive, especially because he leads a very busy life. He was, still working on Scream 7 during that time. There was a lot of things that he had going on, but he was on set quite often, just overseeing everything. Our line producers were there. Our directors are incredible. There was just a lot of and like really everybody was happy, everybody was really excited about what we were making, and I was the only Canadian. So to be able to be around a seasoned cast that they've been working and they're all known in various different projects, I didn't feel out of place, which is incredible. I felt like I really belonged there and that I was at the caliber as these other people and I could really shine. I felt really taken care of and pulled up with them. So I'm so glad that that was the experience because I think it can be really intimidating stepping into a set like that, being my first US project with a big platform with big name people. I mean, there's room for that to be like a complete like fire, but it was the opposite. I felt really comfortable.
You talk about the cast. I mean, there's such talent. I mean, Maria Bello and of course Danielle Campbell, and not to shirk yourself either, of course, together. And the scenes that I really love to watch were the ones at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure a lot of people have mentioned this, but the ones at the dinner table are really wonderful because they're so feisty, like your character and Danielle's character specifically have this great like tete-a-tete, that
Yeah.
palpable tension, of course, because there's a lot simmering in these moments behind.
They just know what's going on. There's a lot of undercurrent that you feel, and they have to put on this mask. That's always the funnest.
What was it like for you getting to getting to work opposite with Danielle and kind of maybe crafting these really like intense, like very simmering moments between like the core four of you all?
I mean, thank goodness we're both really great at what we do. And I think it's just about convincingly stepping into that because outside of when the cameras are rolling, Danielle and I were literally best friends. There were moments where we like they'll yell cut and we'll just burst out laughing because we were like, oh my God, I was so mean to you. I'm like, I know, I felt that one. It's always fun to, I guess, play the opposite of how we actually feel. And it's always really nice to kind of like go into like the darker, more villainous areas of your life and to have a fight that is not real, always fun. It's very cathartic because like Danielle and I will never find ourselves in real life in those scenarios. So it's always fun to lean in into those emotions and we love each other so much. So there was a lot of trust in going there.
I mean, there's all this, all this tension, all this suspense between your characters, building, building, building throughout the season, and then sort of at the end,
Mm.
if there's a spoiler to say, I mean, like this unexpected moment of support
Yeah,
changes the dynamic between the two of you, your
totally.
characters.
I think it's really beautiful to see women come together despite what they've been through and their pain. And I think it's something to say about what it means for like female friendships or females in general, that it's like how beautiful it is to, instead of being catty and still like be petty and let your pain be the selfish lead in that. It's about seeing another human hurting in front of you, and that's more important. I really love that. I loved the camaraderie of like she just shows up for people and that's what she does. However, it's also something to say about her character, Peyton, that she does not prioritize herself and her needs. She is constantly doing things for other people and pushes her feelings to the side. And I think, that's something to be explored in following seasons if we get to do it. That what is her thing? Her thing that she's hiding from? What are her masks? You get to see that with her and Kane at the end where she goes, "We're fine." So is that where their demise comes from? It's such a layered, beautiful moment, but also like, ooh, that's terrifying. Someone who just like doesn't deal with her feelings. Okay. There's some secrets in here. There's some
The
things that we're
powder keg
like, yeah,
coming. Yeah.
like you get to see like the top of the iceberg and you're like, how can this person just do that? It's like you go into work mode instantly. She's a troubleshooter, but not really troubleshooting her own life and emotions. So it's really interesting, like navigating that. I'm excited to see more of them.
We're gonna put together the community of good vibes
Yes.
for
I
season
mean,
two.
hey, we this is our third week in the top 10. I literally went to check Netflix today on To Doom and we're still number one. It's like, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool.
Right? I mean, to see that again, to see the audience there. Obviously, the audience is there tuning in. Either they're, if they didn't watch it when it first came out, or maybe they weren't aware of it, it's
Yeah.
getting such great word of mouth
Yeah.
that it's continuing to watch it. And there's also parts of the series that are like really wonderful to watch again and again too. Like you can see things where you're watching one couple and maybe miss something in the background or some other moving part that you didn't see the first time you watched as well. So
Literally.
you can
I
watch
literally
it.
got a message from one of my close friends. She's like, I'm watching it again. Like, again, a rewatch? I'm honored. Yeah.
We talk about strong female characters, complex female characters. There's a lot more strong female leads that we're also getting to see within the sci-fi genre now. And I really, again, admire and am so proud of how you're a part of this legacy now, in so many different ways. What does that mean to you to be a part of that impact for other future females as well? Within the industry.
It's great. I mean,
Of course,
it's
audiences.
like I had to also carve my own path forward while maybe at the start being told I was never going to be a leading woman, being from where I am and an immigrant and a woman in Canada. It's like I never believed that. And I made sure that I was also my number one fan and to show up as the leader that I might have not had at the start of my career. Why can't that be yourself and be a trailblazer and open doors? And it's not shut behind me. It's truly a welcome. It's an invitation for other people to also see themselves in me and say, well, if she's doing it, I can do it too. Especially because I didn't come from much and I didn't even know English half my life ago. And I'm an immigrant. And then this is an industry that I didn't really have um, any help in entering. I really was so self-made, simply following my passion and being so open to the opportunities and being kind when regarding people, no matter who you are on set. And for me, I think there is a recipe into success. Of course, you have to have that thing. Some people have it, right? It's that spark, that magic, that thing that you're able to actually reveal and be vulnerable, and the camera can catch it. I've learned so much about myself. I really do feel like this career brought me closer to who I'm meant to be and my purpose. And it's beyond me. And I hope that people can see that I'm not here doing this alone because I want to be alone at the top. I want community. I want unity. I want it to be something that we create together because I think together we are stronger. I recently went to see 40 Acres, which is an incredible film made in Canada by Canadian filmmakers. R.T. Thorne actually created Utopia Falls. So I went to support, the premiere, and something he said at the end of the night was, we move in waves. And that's something about being Canadian and being creatives here that I really do feel there's such a collaborative effort and also not just uplifting other creators, but actually wanting to work with your friends and we move together because it does feel so much better to do it in unison and see your peers succeed. So anytime I succeed, it doesn't feel like this isolated event. It really feels like it's all of us. It's for women of color, it's for immigrants, it's for queer people, it's for women on screen and Canadian women. And you don't have to just play small. We can be worldwide. And I'm understanding that not just for myself, being an example of someone I wanted to see on screen when I was younger, but for other people. And it's so beautiful to know that I just simply have to follow my path and walk the walk and continue to invite people in, demystify the process, celebrate when they've won too. I think it really takes this like exchange of energy for us to continue doing what we do. And um, that's the proudest moments for me when we get to do it together.
Well, I want to just tell you like how proud I am of you and how much it is to just again see you leading and see you being a part of that voice and getting to share these moments of, your success is from my small window of things. If you don't tell yourself that you're proud enough, it's, just know from me personally as well as I'm sure the echoes of other people that, we are proud of you. You are making a difference, and we love the fact that you're continuing to have the power and hold it and share it with others.
Thank you so much. I've always felt really supported by all of you guys in the magazine, so it's always really beautiful that there's no like louder support or small support. I'm like all of it is support, and I think we need so much of that. So, I'm always going to be that person who will always use my voice to support other people, no matter how small or big they are. It's important at all levels of your industry, and your journey. Like even if you're winning all the time and you're, winning Oscars and being nominated for all the things, I'm like, those people also need support. Like just as much as if you're starting out as an actor and you're getting your few auditions and you book your first one-liner, I think we're always going to need like a soundboard. Am I still on rut track? Am I still doing it? Is this still relatable? Is it relevant? So it's just like I'm glad to look back in these 10 years and continue to see like the ongoing support. And I still feel like it's the beginning. So let's see what we keep making.
I'm excited. I don't know what's around the corner or next from you, but I'm excited to continue the journey with you and to keep shouting that support and being loud and present and, championing and cheering you on because you're out there doing it, you're living it, you're breathing it, and you're embodying it. And there's people who are seeing you on screen and thinking like, this is me or this could be me. So
Oh, that literally is everything for me. Everything. I always want to uplift people and make them believe in themselves. So if I can inspire any day with any given project, someone that can make them feel like they can follow their dream or at least feel represented or help them understand something about themselves, I've done my job.